When I started this channel, I was looking forward to answering people's question. Now, funny fact, last week I discovered a YouTube channel that's pretty extensive. And in the last video, there was actually a question much related to the video I was hoping to create. In the earlier videos, I've mentioned about education. I was talking about deep augmentation for toddlers. Well, this video is going to be about that. I'm going to show you how when you go deep into the digital transformation with videos, you can actually end up with amplifying your intelligence. And the best way to show that is with videos. So, first of all, let's introduce a question.
The question I have is, what does this do to a society? What might it do when people can share every part of their lives with video?
Just to be very clear, it wasn't a question directly asked to me. It's a general question Derek is asking. And I find him a very nice example of one of these deep digital pioneers. And so to elaborate this, I'm gonna let him explain it in his own words, how he created something. So he didn't put a tattoo, he didn't change his name like I did, but he created an element.
I wanted to make this shift. It was like a shift in life philosophy towards pursuing wholeheartedly the things that I felt to be true. The things that I'd always told myself I wanted to do, the things I told myself I wanted to be. I wanted to aim for that and not just something that was safe, a good strategic decision in the moment. So is Veritasium a real element? Well, for me, it was. It was that idea that I wanted to pursue things I felt to be true.
Pursuing things to be true are quests we often see in science and in research labs. And particularly, I'm interested in living labs with deep digital transformation. And exactly 20 years ago, we had this crazy R&D facility in the center of Brussels. That was the logo. It's called StarLab. And here you saw late in '99 the building they were occupying, and you see that their focus was on deep future. The slogan they had was a blue sky research facility where 1,000 years means nothing. Around that time I was a job student, but some of the interesting project that came out of this facility became the start of my own research journey. And today's story is one of these incredible projects related to video. So video, there are all kind of very interesting technical challenges. And let me go back to Derek to give an interesting relation between the two.
So in this video, I want to tell you my story, but with real pieces of my life.
Hi! Hi!
Real photons that bounced off my face, hit a sensor, created a current that created a magnetic field, flipping some domains on magnetic tape, which was later replayed, recreated in the current, passed into a computer, digitized into zeros and ones, beamed to your device, which recreates the light that's hitting your eyes right now.
I'm waiting for you to take a picture
Of what?
of me.
Now there is a direct path of particles from my 4-year-old face to yours right now, and there is nothing you can do to undo that.
There are three interesting aspects I want to elaborate before I go to the experiment. First of all, video is a good way to bring the past into the present, and you interact directly with the event as it happened. So there's no interpretation, there is no loss of memory and so on. The other part is you can do that with yourself. It's a way better improvement than a mirror, because with a mirror it's instant. You don't really have the time to reflect on things and see, well, whatever kind of things you want to see. Like, I'll probably notice how much I need to improve my presentation skills. The third thing that's pretty well elaborated with the video is all the technical things you didn't see. So there is indeed a lot of technological mediation, and it has to require a huge amount of science and development and so on. But all that just disappear, and you just interact with yourself. You just see the video like you see things around you. So, but there's a lot of technical aspects around it. That's going to be the same case with the experiment. So the experiment was kids between 4 and 8 years. And the interesting solution we want to create to that is that if you ask a kid between 4 and 8, how is your day? They will answer like, okay, it's okay. They don't have the mental models to understand how to bring the story of that day. And that's why the paper eventually published in 1999, and you'll find the link below, is today's story. So we're going to capture the most interesting parts of that day. And so how do we do that? To visualize it, I'm going to use a little more pictures to show you. First of all, we have this webcam, right? We put it on the head, and we have a button to push, or like in that case, you see on the wrist. The essence is that we ask the kids, if there's anything that day, push the button. Now again, there are many technical things, because you can start pushing the button while you were looking on a different angle. When you push the button, it's already happened, so you need to take that time difference. You need to look at it from a crowd, so there are many kids interacting, and you can actually use grid kind of activations to capture that moment. But let's take a moment, and let me just give an example of a moment that's captured, and then see what we can do with it. Take that we have an event where kids are connecting more to nature. So in this specific event, you see them baking bread, but there were also moments where they were creating rope out of needle. You need to imagine that the kids have pushed the button to say that this was an interesting event. And then in the end, you would have all these moments you could use, bundle, and then you go into a reflection mode with all the kids, right? And they would actually explain you how they experienced that day. So what comes out of this? It's twofold. First of all, the kids can reflect with the concrete case without needing to have the mental models, and that allowed them to like jump like a decade ahead. So suddenly they'd be able to reflect about their day like teenagers are capable of reflecting from their day. So it's a clear case of intelligence amplification. The other aspect, because it's not only the kids who have experienced it and then can reflect better about it, but it's also the people who were not there. Take, for example, this was an event like a birthday present, almost birthday for my kid, so it's a good example. And in the end of the day, when parents come take up their kid again, you can also give them that video. So what would happen there is that the parents would now watch a video of the day, of the most interesting aspects of their kid. And they don't need just to ask, because then there's a lot of interpretation, there's a lot of limitation, but they would just experience those moments and can make up their own mind. So it's a way to really connect people a lot better. And that's one of the things that I've been mentioning before, right? It's not about taking the intelligence, putting it into an algorithm and creating complex automation. No, we're interested in taking the intelligence, putting it into a platform and create complex coordination. And this is a very clear example where you by the aggregation of all those events, you can create a kind of intelligence amplification.
Question I have is, what does this do to a society? What might it do when people can share every part of their lives with video?
Based on this experiment about the deep future for videos, I would say it allows us to bring people closer together. It allows people to experience the stories that the people close to them are experiencing. And this way, for me, it looks a little bit like we saw the movement from mass media to social media. What could have happened was a movement from video productions by script players to actually video produced by the people around you. most closest to you. And it would allow us more connectivity to all those people. And it fitted the research domain we called ambiguous computing, which was the name of the journal it's published in. And in 1999, ambiguous computing was equally well known as virtual reality and augmented reality, two concepts that today are broadly known, but ambiguous computing kind of dissolved, got lost in those 20 years. So what I see instead is that most video being published on platforms today, it's way more about the person who creates it. So it's more a person culture, identity politics, right? And it's what we are dealing with today. And there is an alternative. The alternative is to step away from the identity and the ego and go into more the connectivity with the other things. So, well, that's basically why I'm trying to bring also these messages out. And to finish this video, there was another part of that I found in the video Derek was creating, which I really love because it's very actual. Well, I'll show it.
Now you'd think that this would be the triumphant moment from which I'd never look back, but the truth is I wasn't very good at making YouTube videos.
It attracts any object with mass towards any other object with mass.
I was stiff.
An online science video blog.
My presentation style was unnatural and the pacing was slow.
Fiji water has been recommended to me by a friend. For example, the mass of the sun.
Sometimes I think it's a blessing not to know how bad you are.
Yeah, well, I don't think many words are needed. I mean, if I look at my own videos, I'm totally ashamed of that I dare publish it, but I want to bring the story out. I have to start somewhere. I'm trying to fail forward, and looking at that part, Derek, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It gives me hope and energy to continue. So keep going forward. See you next time.